Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win.
Alright guys, take a seat. Come, step into my office, and let's get down to the nitty-gritty, shall we?
So anyways, let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
We are going to be talking about the burnout that is Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And make no mistake, I am not going to be talking about why this game sucks, because I personally don't think this game sucks. But today, we are going to be talking about you. That's right, you. How you can personally avoid the burnout. And so I want to establish right away that I'm going to challenge some assumptions that some of you may have about this game. It might get a little uncomfortable, and if it does, I am sorry. That is not my intention, but I do want everyone to enjoy this game. If you are feeling burnt out, then you are getting to a point where this game is no longer enjoyable. It becomes a chore. And make no mistake, there are so many things that you can do in this game. It is very possible to get there. So, if you are feeling burnt out, if you are feeling like very tired about this game, if you are feeling that it is just becoming so exhausting for you, then this video is for you. Now, if you are playing this game at a very high level, and you like that, this fits well with you, you're super committed and all that stuff, this probably won't be for you, and so you can just turn it off and go do something else. But a lot of you are feeling that burnout at this point, and so I want to talk about how you can do that. Or if you're worried about starting to feel burnt out, if you're new to the game and you think, this is a great game, I want this to be sustainable, let's talk about how you can make your gameplay a bit more sustainable in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I have 8 tips on how I think you can do this. These are all things that I personally have done. So, tip number 1, get into a more casual guild. Now, you might already be in a casual guild, this might not apply to you, or maybe you're totally content in your guild and this has nothing to do with it. However, a lot of my tips that follow will not be possible for you to do if you are in a hardcore guild, or at least they'll probably get you kicked out of your guild. So, I don't want to make anybody mad, I don't want to cause any issues here, but you may, if you're feeling that burnout, it may be best for you to look at the requirements of your guild. Are they coming down on you for only getting 590 tickets in a day? Is that exhausting to you? Do you want to stick with that kind of rigid guideline for your gameplay every day? If your guild is working for you right now, great. But if you're starting to feel that burnout, your guild may be the first spot that you need to take a look at and find a more casual guild to get in that is not going to micromanage every aspect of your gameplay. Tip number 2 is to stop being a slave to your daily activities. Alright, I'm avoiding all of the shots that were just fired at me. I know this is one of the most basic things. In fact, one of the first tips I tell new players is to always finish your daily activities. So I don't want to tell you that you shouldn't finish your daily activities. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is if you had a busy day and you get to the end of your day and you realize, I didn't do my fleet battles today, or I didn't do my Galactic War today, that kind of thing. Why are you going to bed stressed about this? I spent so much time stressed about my daily activities at night. Just drop it. You missed your daily activities for one day. It is not that big of a deal. I know you want that Omega ability. I know you want your little loot crate that comes with it. Just, it's not that big of a deal. It's just a game. Tip number 3 is to stop feeling like you have to make your arena and fleet payouts every day. Now, this is going to mostly apply to those of us who have made it to the top of our arena and fleet shards. Now, I have never been at the top of my fleet shard. I've never really cared to do that. But I have been at the top of my arena shard. And I finished for several months. I was number 1 every single day, rotating with number 2. And that's stressful because when 6 o'clock comes around, or at least the hours leading up to 6 for me, I have to be glued to my phone doing those battles. Now, I still prefer to do that when I've got the time, but it was getting to the point where I literally could not go to the movies at 4 o'clock ever, because if I went to a movie at 4, that would mean I couldn't do my payout. Why? Why? It's one day. It's one day. It's okay. It's not that big of a deal. It is 500 crystals. It's nice to have if you miss it one day.
Very good.
Say it with me, guys. It's just one day missing your payout, or your fleet payout. And especially if you're doing your fleet payout too, that's 2 hours in a row where you are glued to your phone. Don't do that if you are starting to feel burnt out. Just let it go. Tip number 4 is to stop spending too much time on territory battles and now territory wars as well. Now, let me establish very clearly that you need to be sure that you are doing this within the confines of what your guild is okay with. So if you're in a guild where there is a lot of pressure to do 6 out of 6 for every single territory battle phase and combat mission, then please don't listen to this tip. I really don't want to get you guys in trouble with your guilds. However, is it possible for you to auto the first few phases? Is it possible for you to auto the first few waves? Don't miss your combat missions, but how much can you auto? How much stress can you take out of territory battles so it's not so dang sweaty? Find a way to do that. I know I sure have. I auto phases 1 through 5, and starting at phase 5, I'll stop the auto around wave 4 or 5 and make sure that I do the rest of it manually so that I can get those last few phases done. But it drastically decreases the amount of time I spend in territory battles. All right. Tip number 5, stop going all out in every raid. Do you feel like you have to do every single raid? Now, obviously, this isn't going to apply as much to Rancor for a lot of you who have a Rancor team where you can just put it in and hit auto. Very good quality of life. That's nice if you got Commander Luke Skywalker. Good for you. But for Heroic Tank, you got 4 phases. Some of you have teams that you've put together that can do just egregious amounts of damage, and you're sitting there for an hour or 2 just hitting the tank, and the rewards, let's be honest, the difference in rewards is not going to be that different. So if you're going to factor this in, if you're spending an hour doing a raid and an hour doing your payout and an hour doing your fleet payout, you've got 3 hours in the game, and that's not even factoring in territory battles, territory wars, and all of those nice Discord chats you probably are managing at the same time. That is a lot of time. What if you just take a 0 here and there? Is that big of a deal? I'm going to tell you right now, I've taken so many 0s. It's been, I rarely do my raids all out. Now, the caveat to this, if you are in a guild that depends on you to get through the raid, please don't let your guild down. But if you're in a guild that is plowing through Heroic Tank, they're plowing through Heroic Rancor, it's really not a big deal for you to take a 0, and nobody really cares about that because you're in a more casual guild where they're not super hard on you for doing everything all out. Just take a 0. In fact, you're doing your guild a favor. You're giving them slightly better rewards. Tip number 6, stop moving your mods too much. Now, I really hope this changes if we get a nice quality of life update that is going to have a lot of new mod management capabilities. But for now, we got to move one at a freaking time. Now, a lot of you will move your mods from your territory let's start with your arena team. Most of you have your best mods on your arena team, and you're going to move your arena mods down to your heroic tank teams, and from your heroic tank teams to some of your territory battles teams, back to your arena team, and you've got this big conglomerate of mods going all over the place. I actually had a spreadsheet at one point where I would literally track this mod goes to this character, this mod goes to this character, and this rotation that would end up back at my arena team. Wow, that is so much work to get a little more out of your team. Please, if you're feeling burnt out, chop mod swapping. Just leave your mods on your arena team and call it good. Tip number 7. Play your Galactic War because you want to, not because you have to. Now, Galactic War is great. There's a lot of rewards in Galactic War, and for you beginning players, it's a really great place for you to learn how to play this game and to get some testing and to get some rewards and credits and all of those things. And I still think, you know, for the most part, do your Galactic War when you can. But stop feeling like you have to. Stop feeling stressed about getting through your Galactic War if you are. I know I used to get to the end of my day, and if I hadn't done my Galactic War, I felt like I let myself down. You know what? There's nice rewards in Galactic War, but you can live without them a day here and there. I promise. Trust me, you can. Alright, tip number 8, and this is really gonna kind of be the summary of every single tip I have given you today, and I think the most important attitude to have, and that is to stop feeling like you have to have everything in this game. You don't have to have everything, I promise. You really do not. I personally don't. I'm a free-to-play player, and I'm sitting at 1.5 million Galactic power, and I've been playing for 2 years. There's a lot of free-to-play players that have a lot more Galactic power than me, and a lot of pay-to-play players that have double my Galactic power. And you know what? I don't have every shiny toy, and I'm good with that. This game, there's a lot to work towards. But if you spend so much time commiserating about all of these things that you can't have in this game because of CG doing a panic farm, or because you don't have the money to invest in a character that is a marquee, or what have you, then it's a pretty miserable way to play the game. Just enjoy the game and work towards characters that you want. It takes time. I only got BB-8 at 5 stars the first time BB-8 came around. I didn't even get Grandmaster Yoda the first time he came out, or Palpatine. It happens, and it's okay. Alright, so once again, these tips are not for those of you who love being hardcore. I am only speaking to those of you who would like to chill out your play and who just want to enjoy Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. You can totally do it. You don't have to have every shiny toy in this game. You can play this game on a more casual level, and you cannot burn out of this game and just enjoy this game. Because guys, honestly, I think this is one of the best games I've ever played. I love Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Obviously, there are tons of things that we'd love to see change. I've suggested a lot of these things. I think there's quality life improvements that could come, like mod management, that kind of thing. There are always going to be those kind of things. There's no such thing as a perfect game, but by and large, this is a game that I love to play, and I want to play the game because I enjoy the game, and I want you guys to enjoy the game too. Now, if the way that you enjoy this game is by being super hardcore and by spending money and by doing just a ton of stuff in the game, great. Good for you. These tips don't apply to you. But if you want to enjoy the game and you don't want to burn out and you are starting to feel that way, I hope that these tips will help you so that you can go back to enjoying the game and stop stressing about it so dang much. But whatever the case is, if you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up button, share it with your guild mates, and as always, don't forget
my dead body.